A rather important conception, both what's apt to happen in Chicago and also what kind of a movement we're trying to build. We're trying to set up or help contribute to a setup in which the energies of the anti-war movement can be unleashed or liberated. We are united on the demands of withdrawal of the U.S. military from Vietnam and support for black liberation.
Nonviolent Warriors, Dave Dellinger and the Power of the People, Part 3.
I'm not saying that you just lead with your chin. If it develops that the country is ready to take a step toward fascism, I don't think we'll avoid that by being pusillanimous or cautious. We're working for some kind of combination of planning and flexibility, which will, on the one hand, just avoid complete chaos.
From taking on the Rosenberg case and defying the House Un-American Activities Committee, to defending freedom and civil rights, labor, free speech, and anti-war struggles, he's been the people's lawyer, Arthur Kinoy.
Or sisters and brothers, I'm going to make a real contribution in honor of the person who has taught me so much over the long years as to how to stand together and fight, Dave Dellinger. And what's the contribution? I'm about to make political history. It'll be the first time, and a lot of you know this, that I will speak for 2 minutes. Never before. And that's for you, Dave, because I love you so much. So I will just share with you one little thing that I remember so much in terms of my long work back and forth with Dave. And I never forget this. I got a telephone call from Dave to come down to meet with him. He had to have some very serious legal advice on something that they were thinking of doing, organizing a major mass march on the Pentagon. And he said, I need some advice from you. And I said, why? Go ahead and do it. And he said, no, you don't understand. So I go down there. And then what happens? He tells me, and I won't mention any of their names, that some of the older activists and the older lawyers, I was still pretty young in those days, had said to him, you don't want to do this. It's too dangerous. You'll be facing a huge line of military people, and they'll either beat you and you'll be arrested. So don't do it. We don't need that kind of mess. And I looked at him and I said one thing, and I had to share with him something that had moved me more than anything else. And I said to Dave, let me share with you, because I had just come back from rough days in Mississippi and in the Deep South. And I said to him, Dave, let me share with you something that Fannie Lou Hamer used to tell us every time we were about to take any kind of an action. And any time you had to go into a court to represent hundreds and hundreds of our people who were arrested for the most subversive activity, namely what? Marching down the streets with a sign saying, enforce the Constitution of the United States. And they're all arrested. And Fannie Lou Hamer, and I don't have to now do what I have to do with regular folks and young people all over the country. Take 5 hours out to explain who Fannie Lou Hamer was. All right. and Fannie Lou Hamer, this African-American leading woman in the struggles, would always say one thing to us, and then she'd stand up and say it to everybody. And what was it? She would say, you must know one thing, that when we stand together, when we unite together, when we fight together, we can win. And I said that to Dave. And he threw his arms around me and he said, yes, that's what we'll do, regardless of what people tell us are going to happen to us when we march. And therefore, that was the most incredible experience, because I learned so much from Dave as to how we can move ahead as these powerful folks in the Deep South were moving ahead. And so I say that now. Let's everybody remember what Fannie Lou Hamer said to us so many years ago. And in what we face in this country today, we must learn what Dave has said to us over the long years. And that is, what do we have to do? We have to unite together. We have to stand together. We have to fight together. And we can win. So therefore, when I've been repeating this all over the country, and Dave has, what are we known as? We're known as the eternal optimists. So I say to all of you, you're all optimists. We can win, and let's give it to them. And we'll love Dave.
I'm totally surprised. I thought I might have to read something from Grace. And she said that if it was too mushy, cut it out. The mushy thing she wants me to cut out is that everybody loves you, Dave. Some good reasons. You are usually right. You are always trustworthy. You believe in the other guy's good intentions until it drives him crazy. That's all.
And next, Frances Crowe, longtime worker for the American Friends Committee and mother of the peace movement in Western Massachusetts. Frances Crowe.
Thank you, Miriam. Well, I want to say something about what the Dave Dellingers meant to the peace movement for the local people. Back in the early days of the Vietnam War, there was a demonstration called at Sikorsky to protest the helicopters that were being sent to Vietnam to drop napalm, Agent Orange, on the people. And I decided to go, and I announced at my Quaker meeting on Sunday morning that I was going, and I had room in my car, and I'd be glad to take anyone who wanted to go. And I think it was 4 or 5 young people, high school age, who went home and talked to their parents about it. And after many telephone calls and conversations with their parents, it was agreed that the kids could go with me, and they would be at my house at something like 6 the next morning, and we would take off. And we had a very good demonstration, and at one point, there was a civil disobedient action that none of us knew about, and we hadn't talked about it, and there was no plans. But I think 3 of our young people crossed the line, and I was quite surprised, and so I stayed while they went to court. And they had their school books with them. They were very serious. They were studying their Latin and their English while they were waiting to be called. And I remember when they went to court, Dave had been arrested there, and he spoke so lovingly, so eloquently, so clearly to the judge that, it was a real teaching moment for all of us. And I felt so relieved. I felt that I could certainly handle the parents. They would understand, because the young people went away really imbued with a total nonviolent philosophy and feeling that they had done something that day. And one of the young people who was in the group, Susie Williams, later known as Xenia, did many acts of civil disobedience. But it was the quality of his ministry to the judge, to the courtroom, and to the young people that was so valuable for all of us. I had read Dave's writings and heard him speak at large rallies. I'd been a subscriber to Liberation magazine and always had a lot of trouble getting through it because those weren't particularly the issues that worried me. I was just, trying to build a movement locally. But seeing what he did in that teaching moment has always endeared me to him. Thank you.
Where have all the flowers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago. Where have all the flowers gone? Young girls pick them, everyone. When will we ever learn? When will we ever learn? Well, come on, all you big strong men. Uncle Sam needs your help again. He's got himself in a terrible jam way down yonder in Afghanistan. So put down your books, pick up your gun. We're gonna have a whole lot of fun. And it's 1, 2, 3. What are we fighting for? Don't ask me, I don't give a damn. Next stop, Afghanistan. And it's 5, 6, 7. Open up the pearly gates. Well, I ain't got time to wonder why. Whoopee, we're all gonna die. If you love your Uncle Sam, bring them home, bring them home. Support our boys in Vietnam. Bring them home, bring them home. We'll make our generals sad, I know. Bring them home, bring them home. They want to tangle with the foe. Bring them home, bring them home. The foe is hunger and ignorance. Bring them home, bring them home. You can't beat them with bombs and guns. Bring them home, bring them home. I may be right and I may be wrong. Bring them home, but I've got a right to sing this song. Bring them home, bring them home. So if you love your Uncle Sam, bring them home, bring them home. Support our boys in Vietnam. Bring them home, bring them home. I'm just a typical American boy from a typical American town. And I believe in God and Senator Dodd and even keeping no Castro down. But when it came my time to serve, well, I knew better dead than red. But when it got down to the old draft board, buddy, this is what I said. Sarge, I'm only 18, got a ruptured spleen and always carry a purse. I got eyes like a bat and my feet are flat and my asthma's getting worse. Oh, think of my career and my sweetheart dear and my poor old invalid aunt. Besides, I ain't no fool, I'm going to school and I'm working at the defense plant. I got a discalated disc and a racked up back and I'm allergic to flowers and bugs. And when the bombshell hits, get epileptic fits and I'm addicted to 1,000 drugs. I got the weakness woes, can't touch my toes, I can hardly reach my knees. And if the enemy came close to me, I'd probably start to sneeze. I'm only